Okay, good evening sa inyong lahat at welcome sa isang edisyon na naman ng In-Between live streaming po sa Facebook Live and on our YouTube channel. Ngayon po ay March 3, 2021. Magandang gabi sa inyong lahat, especially sa aking kasamang every Wednesday. Walang iba kundi si...
Akala ko ako yung maganda. Pero meron tayong magandang talaga, Jing. Guess, hindi lang physically maganda ang kalooban, maganda ang record, maganda ang yung aura, maganda ang basta something, lahat sa kanya maganda. Yun. So isa rin siyang pioneer ng sa local ICT industry natin. Pero right now, busy siya sa ating parang pinaka-Disneyland here in the Philippines, di ba? Jing?
Yes.
Yun.
Dahil Women's Month ngayon, no?
Correct.
Uunahin natin siya as our guest dahil ito isa sa bigatin to, attorney, na
Correct.
IT executive ng mga panahon na yon. Pero bago ang lahat, explain muna natin sa mga ating mga nakikinig na ang In-Between ay tuwing Wednesday. Ito po ang show na nagtatackle sa mga personalities, mga movers and shakers ng IT industry sa Pilipinas. Kung gusto niyo pong suportahan ang aming programa, meron po kaming paraan para gawin ito. Nasa aming mga Facebook comment page at of course sa ating YouTube channel. Okay, pero wag na natin patagalin dahil bibigyan natin ng buong oras sa kanya dahil mahaba-haba itong magkukwentuhan natin dahil mahaba rin ang panahon niya sa IT tulad natin, attorney.
Yes. Okay. Sige natin ang dating country managing director ng Sun Microsystems Philippines, and before that yung PSPI naging siya. Yun ang unang company niya before it transitioned to become Sun Microsystems Philippines.
Yes.
Wala nga ba ang ating iniidolo, pinagpipitaga ng IT executive, walang iba kundi si Miss Cynthia Mamon. Good evening po, Ma'am Cynthia. Nice to see you again.
Magical evening, Jing and Attorney Melvin.
Good evening, Miss Mamon.
Long time no see.
Yes, okay.
Alam mo, Jing, natin, big supporter ng Cyberpress, yung organization natin ng mga IT journalists. Ito si Miss Cynthia Mamon. From the very start, talagang sumusuporta na siya sa atin. Binigyan pa niya tayong napakagandang opisina.
Napakaganda ng view.
Oo.
On the 32nd floor.
Of Philippines Life Tower.
Life Tower.
Life Tower.
Oo, kita natin yung Ayala and Paseo.
Ginagawa pa green belt noon, yung bagong green belt, ginagawa pa lang yung kitang-kita natin.
Oo. Easily, Jing, baka nasa 100,000 yung renta doon, pero talagang inalat sa atin ni Miss Cynthia Mamon.
Ang social ng Cyberpress noon, ang social natin noon na doon tayo nag-opisina, prime property.
Correct. Tapos may binigyan pa bukod doon, may mga pa tayo.
Merienda.
PC terminals, merienda.
Terminals. Yun, terminals.
May workstations.
Yes,
may workstation from Sun Microsystems ang gamit namin.
Para you can submit your
stories
every day.
And every step of the way, nandiyan si Miss Cynthia Mamon sa mga projects natin and everything. Kaya napamahal natin to, fairy godmother natin to.
Totoo yan. Mahal na mahal natin yan si Miss Mamon.
Ma'am, can you, before we yung pag-usapan kung what's keeping you busy nowadays, let's backtrack a bit po dun sa unang, siguro sa background ninyo, and then during your time in PSPI and then Sun Microsystems, a little info about yourself, Ma'am Cynthia.
Okay. Anyway, I really miss you in the cyber press. And thank you for remembering me.
Of course.
It's been a long
Of course, ma'am, of
time.
course. We won't forget you.
It's been a long time. So I guess my entry to the IT field was as a non-traditional or unorthodox. And I don't know, you probably met me only when I was in PSPI or Sun Micro.
Yes.
And you probably forgot that before that, I was actually with government.
So, I remember.
Yeah,
Yes,
remember
yes.
now? I started with PCARD, Philippine Council for
BOST.
Agriculture, under the Department of Science and Technology.
Sa Los Baños yan, ma'am.
Yes, that's right. In Los Baños, where I am from. And actually, I started in PCARD as a student assistant. So when it was created...
What year was that?
Don't compute, ha? 1973. When I graduated, but you see, PCARD was established or created by President Marcos November 1972. I was already there December 72. So before I even graduated, I already was working as a student assistant. And so working as a student assistant in a very new council under the Department of Science, we really had to do almost everything, student assist, taga-timpla ka ng kape, and all of that, taga-photocopy o Xerox. You remember yung Gestetner na ang dumi-dumi pa nung kamay mo before you can reproduce
Yes.
Yeah. Up to the time that we had to also prepare the budget for all the agencies that are applying for funding by the government, of course, through the Department of Science and Technology. So if I started there December 72, then I graduated May 73. Again, don't compute, ha? I started when I was 5. And so I was taken in as a research assistant. So as soon as I graduated, they made me research assistant. And then you'll be so surprised because my bachelor's is home technology, major in foods and nutrition. I never studied computers. I never had any course in computers in college.
Parang HE, ma'am, sa
delivery.
Yes, tama. Home economics.
Yeah. Ngayon, human ecology. Pero way back then, it's home technology. Major in foods and nutrition research. So I worked there. And then when I was in PCARD, of course, that was a time, 72, 73, when computerization was being started. And then the first Director General, the late Joseph Madamba, who's also my ninong, and I consider him a mentor, said, we need to computerize. And who will start it? And without knowing anything, I raised my hand and I said, I will. Because I'm like that. I want to start something new. I want to learn something new. So it's definitely something I did not know about. I didn't learn in school. But I started the creation of the Management Information Services unit, and then which became a division. And when it became a division, I became a division director.
Wow.
Diba? I created the unit of which I became a director for. So that was the start of computerization in PCARD. And as far as technical is concerned, I was one of the first Unix users in government.
Wow.
Yes. Wow. Because when I started 1973, 74, that was just the start of Unix systems, no? So we use Cynix, a derivative of Unix, and we developed the National Agricultural Research and Resources Database. So if there's any government agency who wants to apply for funding by the Philippine government, we have to search it from our database. And then when approved, we have to monitor until completion, create abstracts for that. And so I established the National Database for Agricultural Research since 74. And ever since, we have always had the directory of, the annual directory of all researches in the country. And you can search what commodity, coconut, sugarcane, tobacco, or you can search who is implementing it, Philippine Tobacco Authority, Philippine Coconut Authority. So I did all of that. and stayed there for 20 years in
Oh my
Picard.
God. Oh. So, ma'am,
Yes.
as early as 1973, you were
Yes.
already
IT.
using
Already.
applying
Cynics.
May
Cynic.
computer na sa harap niya.
pero
Cynics as a derivative of Unix. That means it was even ahead of Unix. Yeah.
Wow.
Unix
Kaya
is
you remember Vicente Romano? We formed the Unix Users Group, UUCP, Unix Users Club of the Philippines. We were part of that. Yes, Enteng Romano. Yes. We were the first Unix Users Club of the Philippines.
Wow.
Way back then, 70s.
Ang tagal na nun.
Yeah.
Naglalaro pa lang ako
We
nun.
used we used Informix as a database. And so, yeah. And then, of course, having set that up, I also helped establish the MIS of DOST. I was helping them set up.
in Bikutan.
Yeah. Yes, in Bikutan. But
were you already married during that time?
I got married 77. So I was there. Yeah, I got married when I was still working with Picard. And then, the model, the system that we had became the model of developing countries' databases. It was one of the models being used by FAO, the Food Agriculture Organization. Yeah, which is based in Rome. So, so our systems became the counterpart of CARIS, the Current Agricultural Research Information System of FAO, and AGRIS, which is the database for all completed projects. So
technically, wala pang DOST no?
ASTI, hindi ba ASTI?
No. NSDB.
DOST na ba? That's right. NSDB. National Science Development
Board. So,
that's
ang DOST, 1988, something, 87 yata na formally organized, right, ma'am?
That's right. So, NSDB. Yeah.
Pero 70s. Ma'am, minsan, Cynthia, babae kayo. Tapos 70s. Tapos computer.
Yeah.
Anong reaction nila nung mga time na yun?
Actually, in government, kasi I pioneered establishment and my bosses supported me. I didn't have any problems because Picard is a very good organization. It helped develop all of us as very good leaders. Of course, the organization was run professionally well. But when I went to PSPI at the time, a little bit of history. Mr. Mamon was the one who actually started PSPI with Gus Lagman, Herman Gamboa, Ed Castañeda, way back 1989. So I was still in Picard. But in 1992, when somehow, they were facing problems, Mario, my husband, said, "Can you help me here? Kasi ikaw ang IT. You have spent many years in government. Siguro okay na yung public service mo. Why don't you help me turn around the company, which is Philippine Sun Systems Products?" And so when I joined them, that was May 92. And I started as a marketing manager. And then the president then was Ed Castañeda. In June, I helped out in sales. And then July, they made me president already. Only in 3 months. From marketing to president. But when I do my public speeches, I said, you know how? I slept with the chairman. And the chairman then was, of course, my husband. Wholesome tayo no? But I always say that, yes, but that was really what happened. I joined May, and then July, I was already president of Philippines Sun Systems at the time. And then, of course, the rest is history because I stayed on.
Yeah, take us back, ma'am, to that era when you became president of PSPI. How was it? How was the environment being with you as a woman leading the company?
Oh, yeah. Talking about gender issues, kasi Women's Month na, it's true, ha? I had challenges. In fact, I wasn't challenged by clients because they respected me. You know why? I easily gained respect because I was a user before. I headed a division before. I established databases before. So I knew technically, project management, systems analysis. And so I was a user. So when I talked to the clients, I knew exactly what they want because I was a user before, like them. But what really challenged me was the comments on the side of my competitors. Because from the big companies, because you see, Sun as a hardware company was relatively new, right? And then PSPI is definitely new going into the business. And of course, the competitors are the big guys, right? IBM, HP, Digital at that time, NCR and all of that, Unisys. So I really heard comments because they know me as a user. They used to sell me their hardware, right? So lalapit sila sa akin, nagtitinda ng lahat. So when I shifted becoming a vendor, I heard comments like, technical siya. How can she become a salesperson? How can she sell? And that's another thing. Yeah, babae siya. And so how can she be successful as a president of a computer company, especially with new technologies? Kasi Unix yun, di ba? We challenged the mainframes, remember? We kicked out the mainframes because we introduced client server and all of that and workstations. So that was really what I heard, that they really doubted if I will ever succeed because I was a woman and I was a user, I was a technical person and may not be able to sell. But I proved them wrong.
Yes.
I captured the Unix market.
At saka ma'am, during that time, Unix was the parang de facto standard in government.
Sa industry, yun ang ano.
Yes.
Hindi mo Windows wala pang Windows nun. Pang consumer lang ang Windows.
Yes.
Yeah. Post-mainframe yan. Post-mainframe.
Yeah. Ma'am, sino yung maalala nyo na biggest customers nyo during the time?
We actually provided hardware when they were testing, pilot testing, smart money. All 7 hardware. Don Ray was the one in charge. And in fact, I really provided them free use at first. Kasi they said, can we have the machines first? We'll test it. If it becomes successful, when we launch, we will pay you. So that's one. And then second is GCash also runs on Sun, the Network Operations Center of Globe. And of course, talking about the biggest, when we won the BIR project over IBM, HP, Digital.
Wow, and that was big.
Oh, yeah. So imagine, at that time, we had very small, we were only small. We were about 30 people with very low capitalization. But of course, with Sun US backing me up, I really went to US just to get clearance. I said, if you want to make it big in the Philippines, you've got to support me. You've got to help me bid in this World Bank funded project called BIR. And they did support me all the way. And with Andersen Consulting bidding with HP, Digital, and Sun, it was the Andersen Consulting and Sun Hardware which won the most balanced bid for BIR. We beat IBM.
Wow.
At that time, they were the biggest, of course. Parang when you choose IBM, you never go wrong, right? But we won it. And, winning government projects is not enough. What's really important is successfully completing it and from the vendor side, being paid for it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So we did successfully implement it. It was a 5-year project. And because we really delivered well and it ran. And then, of course, medyo matagal lang collection, but we were able to collect properly. And at the time, it was also because Commissioner Liwaywad Chato, who you know, is a very upright person. So yeah. So I think we shared the same values. So we looked at the successful implementation of the project more than anything else. They were very professional.
Yeah. This was during PSPI ba, ma'am? Or nag-Sun na to? Sun na, Sun?
In the 90s, mid-90s.
1990, ano yun 5 to 2000. The BIR project was 1995 to 2000.
So it was already Sun?
It was actually PSPI. And then when Sun, you remember, placed equity into my company. At first it was 17. They increased it to 49%. Then it became Sun. Sun Philippines.
Okay. Ma'am, let's talk about Sun Microsystems Philippines. How did it start? And what was your fondest memories? The biggest wins, the biggest challenges, those things.
Yeah. Well, I did tell you that the Sun Microsystems Philippines started as Philippine Sun Systems Products. Then it became PSPI. And then, of course, it became Sun Philippines. And simply because Sun US thought that we were a very loyal partner as a reseller only, right? As PSPI. So it was at the time when HP created their own office. And
Philippines.
Online Advanced Systems, remember?
Yes,
became
online.
A reseller.
Yes. Yes, correct.
Having that as a model, of course, I threatened them. Sabi ko, don't do that to me. Because I really sympathized, with online because they were the reseller. And then HP office was created. So most of the people transferred to the subsidiary.
HPs.
Yeah, to HP Philippines. And so I said, we've had a good partnership. We became #1 Unix vendor in the Philippines because of PSPI. So we were able to convince that instead of putting a subsidiary office, they placed money into PSPI. So they placed equity into our company, the local company owned by Mario and myself. So that actually became Sun Microsystems Philippines. They did not create a subsidiary office. They placed money into the local reseller.
So unique yung
arrangement, no? Yes.
That's right. It is unique, and it is the first time in the history of Sun US that they even poured equity into a local partner.
And they did not put up a subsidiary?
No. No.
Wow.
The local reseller became the subsidiary. We became the Sun Philippines office.
And they maintained 4951 ng ownership.
Yeah. And then they maintained me as president and MD all throughout. They did.
Yes, all throughout. No?
Kasi kung subsidiary yun, Jing, kasi Jing, kung subsidiary yun, magpapalit yun ng country manager every 4 years.
That's right.
Like what happens to HP,
that's
to
right.
Compaq, to everyone, to IBM, even EMC. EMC, hindi nagpalit.
Yeah.
So Cynthia was the first and last.
Oh, yes. Yes. But that's the Philippines. The Philippine model became the model for the ASEAN countries. So they tried it also in Thailand. They tried it also in Vietnam. They tried it. To put equity into the local reseller.
Wow.
But mine was the model and the successful story of the first model for that. JV, it's a joint venture.
Joint venture, yes.
Mujing, ganda lang ganito. When you look back, na natin yung mga milestones in IT industry history, no?
Yeah.
Ganun pala, no? Trailblazer pala yung model na ginawa ng Sun Microsystems Philippines.
Ngayon ko lang nalaman eh. Ang tagal natin tumambay doon, ilang years tayo nakastanding sa Sun Microsystems. So ang alam ko lang talaga, yung ownership nga hati, yung ganun lang yung na sila Miss Mamon and his husband.
It was unique in the sense na distributor sila, Tapos ginawa sila yung naging subsidiary.
Yeah.
Di ba?
Kasi you know what could have happened? The same way with HP. The subsidiary office will get all the people. Syempre, people would want to go to the subsidiary office, right?
Yes.
And then some of the clients would also want to deal with the subsidiary. So kawawa yung reseller. So so it's good. They did it differently with us. And it was a success story.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ma'am, so let's talk about growing Sun Microsystems. What were the wins, so to speak?
Especially mga early 2000s.
People and clients. Those were the days, ma'am, di ba?
Oh yeah. But you know, especially for I'd like to compare, for example, winning the biggest government deal in the country, which was BIR. Remember, it's called SPIRIT, the System for Philippine Internal Revenue. That was named by Commissioner Chato. At that time when we were bidding, imagine, we had a very small office. Remember the 7th floor in the corporate center at the corner of Pasay and Paseo, in front of
Pasay Road.
Yeah, in front of Milky Way. Yun. Dati, before we went
Wala na yung Wala na yun.
Doon kami nag-umpisa.
Wala na, green belt na yun eh.
Doon kami nag-umpisa. So, when we were bidding, we were just there. Kasi, syempre, low budget kami, no? And with about we were, in the company, we were about 30 only. So, small group lang kami. But of course, Sun Regional Office helped us with the network. But actually, the local team developed the proposal. As compared to the other big players, they went to the hotels, they had foreign consultants. So big time talaga sila when they prepared the proposal. So, my gosh, just for proposal preparation alone, parang you would think that we will not be able to compete. So when we submitted it, of course, we submitted it completely and everything. And lo and behold, as I've said, I guess, thank God, we were the most balanced bid. The number one technical was IBM. The number one lowest finance is Unisys. And the second best technical was Sun, Andersen Sun. And the second lowest financial bid was Andersen Sun. So that's when we say that's the most balanced bid. That's why we won.
Kumbaga nasa gitna kayo, ma'am.
Number 2 technical, number 2 lowest. So we got the best combination, finance and technical.
Wow.
So, but that was really challenging. I mean, really. Imagine, I was there only 92. We bidded 94, of course, kasi nag-start yung project 95. So we were bidding 94. So barely 2 years. And we had to bid for the biggest government project.
How much was that project, if you don't mind, Miss Cynthia?
I think the budget was $60 million, but we won it for, I think, $35 million.
That's about...
Malaki-laki na rin yun.
During that time, malaki.
That was the Ramos years. Ramos years.
Biggest yun. Kasi the other bigger, project, dalawang big yun was customs, which we did not bid for.
Okay. What about SEC? Sa inyo rin ba yun, ma'am?
Yeah. Then, before. Yung business registration, amin din yun. Yung DTI, amin din yun. Kaya the attempt for us was to link them together through TIN. Ang ganda nung concept nung ano. And I'm sure you know, there are few vendors who believe government projects will succeed. Because naman some government projects are tainted, right?
Yeah.
But I used to come from government. I was a very upright person. I had successful IT projects too. So in the same aspiration, I really bidded for government projects to prove that government IT projects, when properly done, meaning upright, and you focus on the deliverables, you focus on the contract deliverables, and you stick to the contract, it can be successfully implemented. And it's good that the evaluation was World Bank. It's an international bidding. to envelope bidding. So it was really clean and upright. So that in a sense are the attributes why it was a successful project. But it was tough, I mean, I personally collect sa BIR.
You personally collect.
Oo.
Ikaw mismo.
Ikaw mismo, ma'am?
Na-deliver ko na po. Tulungan niyo naman kami magbayad, mag-collect.
Yun ang mahirap sa gobyerno eh.
Yes, kaya maraming ayaw makipag-deal sa government. Pero yun ang naging advantage kay Miss Mamon dahil nag-work siya sa government.
Yeah, I know the process because documentation is key. You have to document everything. And for as long as the papers are complete, they will pay. I mean, and then for as long as you deliver on what you promise. So, yeah, do a good job and, it will work. It will work. I'm up to now, I still have that hope that government IT projects can be successfully implemented, can improve efficiencies in the public service. I still believe that.
What were your high points as country director of Sun Microsystems Philippines? Okay,
remember, I don't plan for things and I don't even work to get awards. But you remember June Magsaysay awarding us, and I was one of the most powerful women in IT.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So for me, if you think about it, that's one high point in my career, because if other people award you for such and recognize your expertise without you working for it or paying for it, then I think that's very good. And that's not just one. In my hometown, in UP Los Baños, where I graduated, I was outstanding alumni. In home technology, I was outstanding alumni for UP Los Baños, university level.
Yeah.
I shared the stage when then President Arroyo was also outstanding alumni of UP Diliman, because I had MBA there. So in the schools that I completed all my degrees, I was given outstanding alumni for different reasons. No, here in Diliman, it was really outstanding alumni for IT and good governance, and I dare say they probably gave me an award for something I did not study for.
Wow.
Diba? You can be awarded. You can be awarded for something you studied for, but to be awarded in a field you did not study for, that's a breakthrough for me.
Highlight talaga yun.
Yeah.
So you made your schools proud, Miss Cynthia.
Yeah. Yeah. They really were so surprised. How come I built a career in IT when in fact my bachelor's degree was home technology. I say, you taught me to eat, and then I moved to a field which is IT. Infotech.
Yes.
Infotech.
Pero nung time naman kasi nung na-awardan kayo na most powerful woman in IT, nung time na nun wala naman iba siguro eh. Kayo na yun eh.
Well, there was a magazine and we were actually 12. Then meron si Carol Carrion. Remember Carol Carrion?
Oh, yes!
Yeah. Meron na. Nini Octaviano, Ami Torrente, Linya Guillermo, of course. And then si Smart, CIO ng Wilma. Si Wilma, the CIO of Smart.
Hindi ko familiar.
Nalimutan nyo. But yeah, we were 12. Kaya lang, in the magazine, for whatever reason, not because malakas ako sa editor ha, ako yung cover.
Saan nga tayo, I still remember that. Yes ma'am, I still remember that.
The magazine?
Pero kasi Jing, ito si Miss Cynthia.
Gateway.
Very tawag dito, involved sa mga organizations like ITAP.
Oh yeah.
ITAP, yes.
And some other PCS.
PCS, yeah.
PCS, So,
I became president of those organizations.
IT Association of the Philippines, PETEF, and
I kasama rin ako dun sa IT security dun sa ISSP, Information System Security.
Sila
June ba? Malakaman.
Si Sir Jun Malakaman, yes, and some other folks, no. Yes.
Mga pioneers.
Yes.
Mga pioneers,
and you have those mga conferences, di ba ma'am? Marami kayong in-organize. Pati ITAP, they usually invite
Cyberpress parating
Cyberpress,
ma-attend ng mga ITAP meet, even the meetings itself, di ba? Andun ang Cyberpress sa ITAP meeting.
I was president of ITAP.
So hindi lang basta sa corporate sa purely management ang ginagawa ni Miss Cynthia. Involved din siya sa sa social responsibilities and other
CSRs.
CSRs yun. So
and remember through Sun Microsystems, we also established yung Java Education Center and the Java Competency Centers in UP,
Mapua.
And Mapua, yes. You remember?
I was there. Sa Mapua. And marami yun eh. Wow.
We taught the teachers how to teach Java. Yeah.
At saka yung JEDI program.
JEDI program, yes.
This was mga mid-2000s, no?
Yeah. And then every time we have foreigners, Java evangelists, remember?
Yes.
You were always there. You were always there.
Nakapunta yata ako sa Cebu and basta sa about Java JEDI program and some other education programs. Those were the days really.
Wala bang nakasama sa inyo sa San Francisco?
Yes, ako ma'am. Sa sa Java conference.
See?
Yes, I was there.
See?
I even met the Java creator. The
Jonathan Swartz.
No, not Jonathan Swartz. The one who created Java.
Sino nga ba?
The Java developer. Hindi si Scott McNeely, hindi si Jonathan Swartz. Si Bill Joy. Bill Joy, yung may bigote.
Yes, I met him personally. Pero si Jonathan Swartz, the CEO, the Chief Technical Officer, was also there. At saka si Scott McNeely, the CEO, the founder of Sun.
Imagine, ikaw pala. Kaya sabi ko meron kami nadala noon eh.
Yes, I was there.
Madalas din naman kami sa Singapore naman, mga updates, mga software updates, mga hardware updates.
Ang saya nun talaga. Saya.
Yeah.
Almost every month or every 2 months may trip sa Singapore for
that's right.
Sun Microsystems.
The regional office, The regional
office, binibisita namin.
Yeah.
Ma'am, let's go naman sa challenges. What were the challenges? If you would want to discuss about that. But
especially nung mga era ng yung at the height of Sun Microsystems in the mid 2000s and mga late 2010s.
When naglabasan ng ibang technologies, what were the challenges?
With technology, I didn't really have, but if ever we had some hiccups, it was with few government projects where we tapped a developer partner to help us implement projects, and then for some projects our partner wasn't able to deliver. So that's the problem. But we, Sun Philippines, we were the prime contractor. So there were times when we had to change the partner or do it by ourselves. We had to save the project, at all costs, because we don't want to fail the government. But there were some partners who failed us. Yeah. For me, that was the challenge.
Ma'am, may Facebook, meron tayong Facebook viewer dito, sabi niya, 25th anniversary daw yata ng Java this year. Yan, sabi niya lang.
Wow!
Yeah.
Imagine!
Yeah, 25 years.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, okay, ma'am. Let's talk about yung the time when Oracle came in the picture, and then yung
mga nagbago, yung mga changes.
Yes,
you made the transition What happened during those times?
Okay, there's an in-between, so to speak. Yan ang title mo, in-between.
Yeah, in-between ha.
Maalam din ako mag-coin ng in-between.
Yung ba yung BT Telecoms? Meron din
Yes, that's
yeah,
right. That's right. That's right. So we are Sunphil, right? And then in the region, BT, British Telecoms. Actually, umpisa, Frontline Technologies, a public listed company, was interested. So they bought some of the shares of Sun. Okay, so they were able to come in Sunphil. And then Frontline also was or sold some shares to British Telecoms. So there was a time when the Frontline lang siya with our family, and then British Telecoms over some of the shares of Frontline. So there was a time when it was that it was complex. A mixture of in terms of management. But one thing that probably kept the company is, at least despite the changes in equity, despite the changes in partnership or percentage equity, they all unanimously agreed that I be kept as president.
Okay.
Kasi you have to provide some continuity to the organization, right? Regardless of who owns what share. Yeah. But of course, I had the COO then. And the COO was the Singaporean. The Singaporean who would come in and, somehow have his own style of selling, whatever. So, but at least, you know me. I'd coach them how to do projects in the Philippines. Like, for example, there was one, I wouldn't say na lang, there was one economic zone, so to speak. And we presented, and you know how they are, Singaporeans. They're very pushy.
Aggressive.
Hard sell.
Yeah.
And we don't do that, right? Yeah, we don't do that, right? So they would
may lambing tayo.
Lambing. Chika muna bago ka magbenta. So hard sell. And then the authority there pulled me aside. Sabi niya, Cynthia, ito nagtitinda to ayaw ko to. Tinitindahan ako nito ayaw ko to. So I had to, sometimes I had to push them aside and then parang calm them down. That's not how we do things. We don't do hard sell. But they were painting a dream, that they want to do this, they want to do that. And I believed in that dream and shared in that dream. And my Singaporean partner would say, hey, there's no money there. Why are you spending time with that authority? I don't want to Why are you spending time with that? That's just a dream. They don't have money. So if you're a typical salesman, you don't want to sell because there's no budget. But me, again, from a user's point of view, I want to make the dream a reality because it's how you use IT again to make efficient your operation. So I supported that dream. I supported whatever process. And they were able to install a data center. Of course, who would they choose as a vendor? It is not those who were just looking for budget, but it is those who share their dream and help them make the dream a reality.
Yeah.
So they chose Sun, and the data center was powered on Sun. And so I had to prove again to my colleagues, see, this is how we do things. You don't push your technologies or talk hardware. You don't do hard sell. You share the dream of your user. You know what are the pain points. You've got to know, what they need. If you supply their need, then so we don't do hard sell. So again, that's from my user point of view. You don't sell. You just give them the solution that they need.
Ma'am, I remember with that story, I remember yung interview kay Maria Fe Agudo, the president of Hari, yung Hyundai Resources. She's the lady executive president of the Hyundai distributor here. When she went to Korea to become the to become the distributor of Hyundai in the Philippines, the Korean executives, all of them male, because it's a male-dominated society in Korea. You as a lady, what do you know about cars? This is a man's world. Sabi sa kanya. Sabi naman nung ni Miss Faye Agudo, what do you know about the Philippines? Selling in the Philippines. Diba? So, it's like that, no, ma'am?
Ganun yung approach, yeah.
You may know about this technology, but you may know that you don't know that the culture, the way things are being done here, diba? And usually, it's the local guys who know what's going on the ground.
Yes,
That's right. We know the market. We know how to sell to that market. We know best how to cover the
Philippines
market.
pa naman matriarchal society. Tapos siyempre yung matriarchal approach.
And we sell through relationships. They will only buy from people they trust.
Yes.
You know, sometimes it's not the product, it's not the technology, but people that they trust, you know, who will be able to deliver the solution for them. Trust talaga. The business is built on trust.
Ma'am, okay, let's talk about, siguro before talking about your new career sa AK, kahit briefly lang, yung pag-exit ng Sun Microsystems, what happened there?
Yes, konting review lang kung ano nangyari sa Sun Microsystems.
Well, we know that at the corporate level, it took some time, right?
Yes.
Negotiation sila. And definitely, the fact is that Oracle bought Sun, right?
Yes.
At the regional level, it also took quite some time because they didn't know yet how they can exit. But for the Philippines, it was very clear because it was, again, through the current partners then, which was British Telecoms, Frontline, and my family. And what happened was, of course, I have clear instructions, and they did it with the most compassionate way, where we had to announce to the people, and they were given appropriate compensation. And actually, there were only two in accounting who were left, and myself. So they were all given enough compensation, properly compensated, and given enough time to exit. And I was maintained for many years, even after announcing publicly, because I had to help wind down, you know, get collections.
2017?
parang ganun eh. Kasi, parang ganun. Basta it was, I was there, even though, of course, we were not required to go to the office, but we finished all the paperwork and all of that.
And then, ma'am, you focus your entire time na to EK, Enchanted Kingdom.
Ay, nako.
Background ninyo eh.
Nako, hindi. I'm still in IT.
Oh, really? Oh.
Yes. Because when I was still in Sun Microsystems, Pfeffer, Yols, and I started Beacon Solutions.
Oh, yes, I know.
Then with Frontline. Because Frontline wanted us to be the partner for the Philippines. Okay. And then, of course, Frontline also somehow changed leadership. So we were left on our own. So since that time, we still maintained. So up to now, I'm president of Beacon Solutions Incorporated.
Oh my goodness! I didn't know. Okay. Wow.
You know me, I'm like my computers, right? Multiprocessing, multitasking. So yeah, I'm in EK, but I'm president of Beacon.
Okay.
So how can you juggle that with being the chief operating officer of Enchanted Kingdom and at the same time president?
It's a good balance kasi, you know, Enchanted Kingdom is fun, right?
Yes.
And then Beacon is, tech solutions and everything. Yes. Yeah, of course, I have a very good team. Rhea Arceo is the GM. She's a GM and she's very, very competent. So, of course, we have regular meetings and then I help them. I look at the sales funnel and I call on clients, and so far. And I think the company has been blessed Because even before we were registered officially, we already had projects. So I really thank God for Beacon. After all, the inspiration was, you remember yung Mother of Christ? There's a phrase, oh, lift my eyes to a beacon light.
Oh,
Doon nakuha yung beacon light.
Beacon light.
To the port where I fain would be.
So that's an old church song, di ba?
Yes.
Ah, yes, I remember.
Wednesday pa naman ngayon. Wednesday, and I just attended online mass, and then Perpetual Help Novena, and they sang that song, and I said, yeah, Beacon. Beacon of Light.
Yes, ma'am, lagi kinakanta yan sa namin, sa parish namin sa Cagayan when I was small. Kasi paborito rin yun ng mother ko kantayin.
That's right.
Kaya naalala ko bigla.
Kasi Mother of Perpetual Help.
Oh, yes.
Every Wednesday. Yeah.
Wow,
and somehow it's true that we have been provided perpetual help.
Yes.
Yeah. So it's very successful. We have projects in government and private, and there are about 60 people.
Oh, wow, okay. How are you doing during this pandemic?
I'm okay. Well, I will be very frank. I will be 68 by March 14.
You don't look like 68, Ma'am Cynthia.
I look like 80.
No, 67.
67 and a half.
Yes.
Yeah. So, if you're above 65, strictly speaking, you can't go out, right?
Yes.
So, since that's been declared, I work from home. I have a setup here. I have the iPad, I have a computer and a big screen, which my husband provided me, because obviously I work from home. And actually, my colleagues are complaining. I have more time and I have thousands of emails sent to them.
Actually, ganun nga. Totoo yan. Mas marami trabaho ngayon.
Oo, kasi everything shifted online.
Yeah.
Tapos walang time element. Parang 24/7.
Walang time element. That's right.
Lahat.
Yeah. And then Zoom meetings and all of that.
Like this. Zoom
Ma'am,
broadcast, live streaming.
Yes. Ma'am, how is EK doing?
Yes. Pa-update naman kung ano nangyari sa Enchanted Kingdom.
Yeah. Well, of course, diba, we went through lockdown and everything. And thank God, after putting all the safety and health protocols, because we really invested in acrylic dividers in our restaurant. We also provided markers on the floor. And we also have our health checklist, which uses QR code, also for the health checklist of our cast members or our staff. So we provided everything that was needed. So number one, we renewed our accreditation with the Department of Tourism, which is number one requirement. Number two, we had been inspected by all the government agencies together with the mayor, Santa Rosa City Mayor Arlene Arcilia. So by October 17, after having complied with all the requirements, we were allowed to open.
Oh, okay.
So we were open October 17. Of course, we just limited it to weekends only. Kasi, syempre, yeah. And then we complied.
Until now po? Until now?
Yeah, until now. Saturday, Sunday. And we comply with the IATF regulations about the 15 to 65. And then also the health checklist, contact tracing, contactless, 50% capacity.
50% capacity. That's how many people?
Well, imagine, we used to have 15,000.
Oh. So 7.5
8.5. Yeah, 7.5. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, we don't hit that yet, but at least we can see that it's growing.
Yes.
It's constantly increasing. So it means that, people are confident about going out. And besides, Enchanted Kingdom is open air, right?
Yeah, that's
outdoor.
True, yes.
Kaya,
it's a big problem for malls.
Yeah. So for the theaters that are enclosed, kasi we have theaters, right? We have HEPA filters. We provided for the filters for the aircon. So we improved the air quality. So we did everything that was needed to comply.
Ma'am, in other countries ba, yung mga amusement parks are already open or closed pa rin?
I think Disney Shanghai opened. Florida, they have been opened. Ang stricto is Disney California. California.
Talagang
Sarado.
strict talaga doon.
Ito, again, we thank the local government. Kasi it really now, it boils down to local government clearances. So it's a good thing that the Santa Rosa City Mayor is very supportive that for as long as you comply, yun. So tight monitoring din kasi while the others allow already children below 15, in fact 17 and below, kami yung below 15 dapat merong permission ng parent or guardian.
Yes, ganun pala yun.
So okay lang.
Wow.
Okay lang.
Yeah, at least it's we're slowly opening up the
Good news naman yun.
So good news. So kasi kailangan ng tao ng amusement After being locked down for so long.
That's right.
Sa mental health.
Mag-1 year na tayo na ganito. Ang sitwasyon natin is almost a year.
That's right, no? Actually, people think it is non-essential. Actually, it is essential for mental health.
Yes.
Because you really have to go out to take away the anxieties. So,
stress.
Tanggal ang stress. Kaya we hope naman that the children will be allowed soon. Kasi they're also just like your children.
Yung mga children pala.
Wala pa yung below 15 Wala pa. And then the parents don't go out. Because they want the children to be brought out. So hopefully when they allow, then the families.
Pag nag-MGCQ na ba, ma'am, would they allow it?
Ang problem kasi, di ba, our market, our audience comes from here, our guests come from Manila.
Yes.
So kung dito stricto, sa Santa Rosa hindi, how can they go travel?
Oo nga, no.
Kasi MGCQ na kami sa Santa Rosa
ganun ba? MGCQ na pala.
Dito lang sa NCR hindi.
NCR pa yung okay.
Dito nang gagaling.
Yung mga tao. Well, I hope.
Hopefully, in due time, now that the vaccine is here, paunti-unti na dumarating and hopefully paunti-unti na rin mag-open up yung ating economy.
Your families are invited, Tell me anytime.
Yeah, sure. Sige.
Above 15. We have a new ride in April. Again, that's another thing that people are wondering. What? A new ride? Yes. We constructed during the lockdown.
The lockdown.
Wow. So surprise
at least,
ma'am, hindi nyo pa ina-announce?
Hindi pa kasi of course ganito rin the ride is manufactured by Mack Rides from Germany. So most of the work the local team did it. But of course, prior to launching, the German engineers will have to come here and then of course install properly and check and do the turnover. So that one delayed the process because of course before travel restriction and then visa application everything. But thank God they're already here. So we target that we will launch it and open it to the public on April 25 to celebrate our 25th anniversary.
Oh,
wow.
5 years na pala ang
25 years
Kasi
na. Wow.
25th anniversary was October 2020.
Okay.
But how can we
celebrate?
We did celebrate through virtual celebration, through like that. But so this one is our offering. So people will now experience a new ride. It's a family ride. It's a spinning coaster.
Wow. Okay. Abangan natin yan, Jing, no?
Yes.
Pero at this point, wala na tayong oras. Naka 1 hour na tayo. Let's give the floor to the virtual floor to Miss Cynthia. Kung meron man siyang gustong sabihin about EK na invite or Beacon or about Beacon.
And inspire some women out there.
Empowerment.
Oh, women. Oh, yes. Well, I did tell you the story about myself that while everybody perceived that I'm successful in the IT industry, yes, it's true. I did not study for it. I had a bit different degree. And of course, I finished Bachelor's in Home Technology in UP Los Baños, MBA in UP Diliman. And by the way, I finished my PhD in Letran because I was teaching there, and they told me to pursue my PhD, and I did PhD in management. So I do have a PhD degree. And so to all the women out there, I dare say that you empower yourself. And one thing that we must do is to build our expertise. And when we build our expertise, we know our self-worth. We know how we can contribute to the society. We know how we can build our own career. And of course, we can still be successful in career and also be very, very successful as a mother and grandmother now to my 10 apos. I have 10 grandchildren now. And still be happy, and be thankful that God has given you a beautiful life, a beautiful family, and beautiful friends like you who remember me.
Okay, thank you very much, Miss Cynthia Mamon. We are glad to reconnect with you.
PhD pala siya, Dr.
Yes, Dr. Cynthia Mamon. Thank you very much, Ma'am Cynthia, for taking the time to guest in our show. And we acknowledge your contributions to the industry, and we wish you more success, ma'am. Ayan. Okay, Jing, batiin ko lang yung mga nakisalo sa atin online.
Thank you rin ako. Thank you, Miss Mamon. This is a special day for you and for us. You're the first guest. Yes.
Please to come to Enchanted Kingdom, and to all the viewers, we will launch a new ride. It's called Twin Spin. Inspired by the Twin Princesses. Yeah. Twin Spin on April 25.
Yes.
See you there.
Yes.
See you there.
Thank you, Miss Mamon. Maraming salamat.
Salamat po.
Attorney, sino yung mga shoutout mo?
Si RG Espinosa, si Alex Fuentes, si Seven
Rory Visco. Hello daw, Miss Mamon.
Rory Visco. Si Mel Dominguez.
Hi, Mel.
Si Hermie Ansay Rivera, si Josa Matet, si Michael Lance. Ayun, maraming po salamat sa ating mga online viewers na nag-comment. Okay, kita-kita po ulit tayo next week. Thank you very much, Miss Cynthia Mamon, our guest for tonight. Thank you po.
Thank you.
See you
Keep
next
safe
week.
And God bless.
God bless.
God bless po. Thank you.
God bless. Keep safe.
Yes, okay. Ayan, maraming po salamat. Lalong-lalo na sa ating guest si Dr. Cynthia Mamon, PhD. Dati pong isa po sa bigatin sa IT, sa industriya ng IT dito sa Pilipinas. Lalong-lalo na ng mga panahon at the height of Sun Microsystems in the Philippines. Okay, Jean Garcia po ng TechSabado.com. Huwag niyo pong kalimutan, TechSabado sa darating na Saturday, 8 p.m. din po. Like or follow niyo po ang aming mga social media pages, facebook.com/TechSabado at saka facebook.com/Newsbytes.PH. Nasa Twitter din po kami at TechSabado at saka @Newsbytes.PH. Sa mga nanonood sa aming TechSabado YouTube channel, give us a thumbs up kung nagustuhan niyo po ang aming programa at i-click niyo po ang subscribe button below the video, pati na rin po ang notification bell. Of course, ang aming website, TechSabado.com at saka Newsbytes.PH. Remind ko lang sa ating mga viewers, kung gusto niyo po suportahan ng INBETWEEN at TechSabado, may link po sa aming FB post dito sa episode na to at syempre sa baba rin po ng aming YouTube video. Kung paano niyo po gagawin, sundan niyo lang po ang link. Also, podcast po ang INBETWEEN sa darating na Friday sa Spotify. Maraming salamat, PLDT Smart Group Corporate Communications Team, for their continuing support. Huwag niyo pong kalimutan, sa TechSabado on Saturday, guest po namin ang Corcom Head ng PLDT Smart, si Miss Cathy Yang. Thank you, MSI, AMD, and of course, XSplit for the support on our weekly streaming. Don't forget, TechSabado this Saturday, next week ulit, para sa INBETWEEN. Wear a mask, stay home, stay safe. Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Salamat!